I don't know if the news has reported much on this, but P. Diddy, otherwise known as Puff Daddy or Sean Combs, has been arrested. BBC reported that his ex-partner had filed a lawsuit against him, and then he was part of an ongoing investigation. What's really going on is that he is now facing life in jail, basically, because this investigation is what's called a RICO case, which means racketeering, influenced, corrupt organisations. So they only use RICO investigations, or call it a RICO case, when there is a massive network of people involved. So P. Diddy, in the video that I've just watched, P. Diddy is seen beating up his partner, his then partner. But what's come out from that is this whole massive, worse than a scandal, you know, and there's going to be names involved that even the Christian world's going to shake out. He's used his Hollywood persona and status to cover up an entire other world of human, child and adult, especially male, slavery, sex slavery, interstate prostitution, trafficking of humans and drugs and weapons, using violence and including the threat of weapons to control people. And it's not just a small amount of people, this is thousands of people. This has been going on for years. It's a professional network of sick, dark abuse. There's hundreds of names, Hollywood names, that are going to be attached to this. When the Jeffrey Epstein thing went down, you know, that was shocking, right? I think it was more shocking because people, when we're in our little worlds, in our little homes and in our little bubbles, when we hear things like this that go on, it's easy to label it as a conspiracy, or, you know, to minimise it and downplay it in our heads. So when the Jeffrey Epstein Island scandal was publicised, people were like, whoa. You know, I expect some people still think it was, what's the word I'm looking for? Conspiracy, you know, just, you know, not really true, just people wanting to say bad things about Hollywood people because they're jealous, because, you know, the Hollywood people are famous and rich. And yet, this P. Diddy thing, absolutely, it doesn't just shadow over Epstein Island, its very presence presence obliterates it, because this is something really big and really dark. And the reason I'm doing this video is because at the moment there are pastors and preachers that are being arrested, shot, beaten up, just for doing things like praying outside of a pride festival, or praying outside of an abortion clinic, or praying, you know, outside of school. Teachers getting sacked if they pray for a child in school. And the world, West especially, celebrates cult movies, dark, psychological, terrifying movies, lewd sexual behaviours. In fact, it encourages it. You know, the world encourages homosexuality. The world encourages sodomy. Come on, let's say it what it is. It's sodomy. And the world celebrates award ceremonies and concerts, where I'm going to touch on the Jack Black one now, where, you know, Jack Black was hailing Satan, and everybody in the audience was laughing, hailing Satan. One of the members of Boyzone, the good-looking one with the dark hair and the tattoos on his neck, I can't remember his name offhand, he did an interview, and he's witnessed, because he was up high up the top, he's witnessed people praying demonic prayers over their albums so that their albums sell a lot. And those albums and that music is going out into the world and coming into our children's minds. into their eyes. And over time, people become more and more desensitized. And our children are growing up. Our children are growing up with songs like WAP by Nicki Minaj. Do you know what that means? It means wet. And the dance moves that she's doing to that, where she's, twerking all over the floor sexually. Our kids, not mine, hopefully, but that, I say our because I'm on about normal people in general. Our kids consume that. They think that it's just a dance because they don't know. So then you have kids twerking, maybe in front of family members because they think this dance is funny, and so the world is celebrating Hollywood, celebrating all the famous rich people, celebrating this film and that song and, this event, that ceremony, this award, that award. Well, and I am guilty of this. My God used to be Eminem. I worshipped him, I loved him. And Lady Gaga and Beyonce, and the money, we invest when we watch the films, when we download the songs, when we share the songs. We're paying. We are part of the problem because we are funding this. We don't know we're funding it, but we are. And it's not just America, because there are going to be connections. This network is going to stretch all over the world. The Jeffrey Epstein thing, Prince Andrew was linked to. No charges were made, but he got booted out of the royal family. There's millions of kids that go missing every day, and millions of people currently missing in America and in the UK and across the world. Now, we normally think of trafficking as being, the immigrants that are coming in from other countries that have maybe, paid money to the wrong crowd and, end up victims of slavery. But do you know what's worth so much more money than, say, a Middle Eastern immigrant escaping war? 17-year-old boys, 8-year-old boys, 5-year-old girls, 14-year-old girls. They're being groomed. They're being kidnapped. I'm not making this up. This is what has been said on this case, right? It involves kidnap as well. All these people that are missing, where do they go? It's shocking to think and to realise that probably more than half of the people that are currently missing in the UK and in America alone are actually now victims of human slavery and human trafficking. And yet, we can't wait to get the Eminem tickets. We can't wait to get the Beyonce tickets. We can't wait to go and see our famous person that we so much love. And we're just funding it all. The only way this stuff is going to stop is if people stop being so wrapped up in their idols, worshipping people. They're just people. And people we're messed up. All of us. We are all naturally bad. If we weren't naturally bad, we wouldn't have to teach our children how to behave. If we weren't naturally bad, we wouldn't have all these rules in society, these laws, to keep us in place and under control. People are naturally bad. And the scenes that these people are in are vile. They have these parties where, well, you can just, I'll leave it to your imaginations. These are the elite members of Hollywood, and they have these parties, and stuff goes down at these parties that probably most of us can't imagine, but we're funding it. We are part of the problem, right? They're just people. They're people who, they work hard on their voice and their singing and their acting and all that, but also at the same time, they've been dragged into this stuff and they've become part of it because they've become aroused by it. They love the money. And the root of all evil is the love of money. It's not money, it's the love of money. The film Barbie, You might have thought, oh, it's innocent, but it's not. The film Barbie is a feminist. It comes across as empowering to women, or empowering to our girls and teenagers growing up, so they grow up strong and they don't, they don't end up being abused by men and things like that. They don't have to have a man, they can manage all on their own. It's an attack on the family. It's a way of indoctrinating young girls to grow up into women who feel that they are powerful against men, or powerful on their own. Thus, they don't want to get married, they don't want to have children, and the family is attacked at the roots. But what really upsets me as well is that all this stuff is going on. I mean, this is serious. This P. Diddy thing is serious. The world is gonna be vomiting and recoiling the longer this case goes on. This is just the start. Rich abusing their power because they can. Who's going to stop them? They'll just get better lawyers, or they'll just bribe judges. Let no small person that they've destroyed stand up against them. And that is how abuse works. Abuse teaches the victims that they don't have a voice, nobody's going to listen, nobody's going to believe them. And even if they do, there's nothing that they can do about it because the abuser is more powerful. So keep watching those Hollywood movies. Keep going to those concerts. You probably haven't even got this far into my video. If you have, put a blue love heart in the comments. So keep doing that, and you're funding all of this. And meanwhile, all this is going on, and then there's Christians being arrested for praying outside of an abortion clinic peacefully, not even speaking it, just in her head. Christian pastors being shot while out preaching, beaten up, arrested. There was a Christian cafe that was playing Bible verses, and because one came up that was about homosexuality, the cafe owner got arrested for sharing hate, I can't remember what it's called now, but it's a hate crime basically. I think the general idea about Christians is that we are a massive cult, and that we have been conditioned to not have fun, to not think for ourselves, to obey these laws and rules. And I've even been, it's even been suggested to me in the past that I've been brainwashed into this Christianity thing. And the irony is I have been brainwashed. And I'm so glad, because my brain was full of sick disease. My whole body was just crawling with disgustingness. How many times have you listened to a song that you think it kind of gets you in the mood and you feel kind of sexy, and a little bit of confidence, a little bit of swagger in your walk? Yes, that's because it is altering your mind. It's altering your mood. That song is so powerful that it's causing feelings in your body, that you didn't put there until you heard that song. And now these feelings feel good, and you want to hear that song again because you want to feel powerful and confident like that again. I see you consume more and more and more. That song would have, that's been prayed over, had demonic prayers prayed over it. Kids have so much access to the internet and so much access to this dangerous, horrible stuff. This dangerous, horrible stuff that is painted in colour and sound, and it's lovely, it's fun, it's just acting, it's harmless, you're being paranoid. Some of the things I've seen in my life, you wouldn't be able to imagine. It would make your skin crawl. And that's what happens. We get very sick, we get very diseased. And yet all this is going on in the world, and Christians who have had, most of us who have had our hearts, have had our brains cleansed, brain cleansing, our spirits cleansed, Our hearts changed. We have new hearts, renewed spirits, clean hearts and renewed spirits. So yes, our brains have been cleansed. And when that happens, during that process of sanctification, and we realise how severely we've been lied to, and we see our friends and our loved ones earnestly or ignorantly following the trends, scrolling the Instagrams, listening to the songs, watching the movies, celebrating it. And that is a new level of pain. And that might make you think, well, I don't want that. Why would I want that? I don't want Christianity then if it's painful like that. The truth hurts, doesn't it? The truth does hurt. Like, we were taught that, and that is very accurate. When I came to faith, that hurt. Being faced with the reality of seriousness, I suppose. No, that's not the word I'm looking for. But, you know, when I was being faced with the reality that my behaviours, even my mild behaviours were very, very damaged, were sinful. My thoughts, the battlefield is in the mind, and it's my thoughts are corrupt through watching all this kind of thing. And not just mine, everybody's. Everybody who thinks that it's okay to hail Satan at an award ceremony, and who thinks it's okay to join in, has a corrupt way of thinking. Anybody who believes that it's okay for terrorists to go into villages and massacre people in their sleep and behead children and babies in front of their mothers, but isn't allowed to defend its country or seek justice, a corrupt thinking. Anybody who thinks it's okay to fantasize about their boss, even though they're married and the boss is married, because it's only a fantasy, right? It's only up here. When we allow our thoughts to dwell in our heads, they become feelings, and those feelings become actions. So when we're watching horror movies and we're feeling that adrenaline because we're feeling scared and like, whoa, and then we get excited because of how the movie was created, and wow, what talent, you know? And so those feelings of excitement, like that heightened state, like the arousal, I don't mean sexual, but that's releasing like dopamine and endorphins and things like that. And what that does is that then creates another pathway for which our brains, when we are lacking those chemicals from other sources, our brains seek to get them with ways that they know how, which is more horror films, more psychological TV box sets, more fantasies about our bosses. And for some people, these fantasies it's not enough for it to stay a fantasy. For some people, they feel that they have to act on it. They feel like at the next office party, they're going to sleep with their boss. Or, you know, when it accidentally happens, they've got no defense against it, because they've been telling themselves it's just a fantasy until they lose their job, and then their marriage, and their home, and their kids. And then the kids are damaged, and the kids grow up, and they're watching and consuming all this stuff, whilst also seeing the breakdown of a marriage. And then they seek ways to increase the dopamine. I'm only saying what I know to be true with me, but don't for 1 minute say, well, don't do other people's thinking for them, Emma. You know, I'm not like that. Because you are. We all are. And if you think that you're not, you're in denial. There's no, you know, you can deny it all you want, but there's things that you watch, there's things that you listen to, there's things that you think that are wrong morally. And, you know, you can deny it all you want, you can switch this video off, you can call me whatever name you want, but don't do that without verifying that you are not don't do that without verifying with yourself, nobody else, Just you and God, because God knows. Oh yeah, you don't believe in God, do you? But you hail Satan. You don't believe in God. So evil's fine, yeah? It's okay to worship evil. It's okay to celebrate evil. It's okay to celebrate bad stuff. But it's not okay to go after the good stuff. It's not okay to pray. Don't pray in front of me. Go away, Christian. Don't come near me. I don't want your Christian disease. Jesusitis. If you can 100% honestly say that your thoughts are moral, that what you watch on TV is morally good, I mean, because those films and things that you watch where, you know, there's violence and there's abuse, those are people acting, right? They have to get their minds into the mindset of their characters. And you might say, well, you know, they're actors, they know how to turn it on and off, they know how to boundary themselves. But really, is that possible? Is it actually possible to act those roles without feeling the intensity of those emotions? Once upon a time, I was regarded in a certain way. I won't go into full details, not here anyway. At some point I will do, as the years go on. Once upon a time, I was once regarded as something that made me feel powerful for once. And when I would stand up in this role, I would feel that power. You know, it was something going on inside me that was very, very different. And then you've got likes of Beyonce and people like that, yeah, that stand up on those stages. They do those dances and they sing those songs. And all that energy from like the however many thousands, the tens of thousands of people in each of their stadiums, all of that energy coming towards them, yeah, and they're like absorbing it. Think like, I have the power, He-Man, yeah? Think that, you know, they're absorbing all that energy, that lust, that confidence, that there's, you know, and they are like, inside, I can guarantee it. Because what we put in is what we become. So I'm gonna try and keep on top of this P. Diddy case. So do subscribe or follow me if you want to join in that journey. If you've made it this far to the end of the video, then please put 2 red love hearts in the comments so that I know and can thank you. And yeah, learn some lessons from what I've said. I'm not telling you what to do. I know I just said learn, you know, it sounded like it. You've got the choice. God gave you free will. And if what I said has caused you offence in any way, then the problem's not with me. Because if somebody points out our character defects, we don't like it. Who do you think you are? You don't even know me. Come say that again. I'm not you. That's another one. If anything I've said has offended you, then that's the point you need to start at. Why did it offend you? Ask yourself that question, and I believe you will start to become enlightened. Not woke. Woke people are still, they're just sleepwalking. It's hilarious. You'll be enlightened. You'll become enlightened. And the light shone into the darkness. And the darkness couldn't the darkness couldn't comprehend the light. Thanks for watching. This has been His Creation. I've been Emma. And if you've made it this far through the video, you've been amazing. God bless. Remember to like and share and subscribe and follow.